Yo, what's up, guys? And might you be thinking, like, hey, say, why are you on the main? This was like a video for the alt account, right? Well, you can see the level 99 here on the top left corner. Yes, I am already running a 27 average Giants Abyss hard, which is really insane because this account, let's just continue running this. How many days old are we on this account at the moment? Records. We are looking at an 18-day account. We do also... Wait, that's actually kind of strange. Why do I have World Guild Battle of this rank, but the Siege Battle is still no rank? Is that maybe that you only get it at the end of the Siege season or something like that? I don't know, could be. But either how, we already have a team that's working incredibly fast. It's definitely a team you've already seen in the past, but this is, I think, the minimum rune requirements to make it work and to make it good enough and to where it works. And I'll be talking about what are the minimum rune requirements, how did I get here, and how can you replicate this? Because I think that this team is probably faster than a lot of people that have been running this game for years and years, and they're still working on like a super slow kind of team, where this is all you need to do. You don't need crazy amount of fight runes, you don't need crazy rage runes, you don't need that much. You just need to have the right tuning, the right stuff at the right timing. That's about it. And I do have a Luna, which you do get from the HOH. My Luna is actually max skilled in the skill 3, which I happened to get from just 4 skill ups, so I was very lucky on that one. But I also can show you a method that if you don't have Luna max skilled, it is like about a half a second to a second slower, but it still works. And I can switch one artifact on the Tesher to show that right away. So this was how the run works. It's pretty much the same principle that you have seen time and time again. It's relatively easy. You have the Tesher being boosted by the Kona. You have the Prilia moving in front. They're at exact speed, so therefore your Tesher moves in front of the other two things. Then you have the Luna moving, and Luna kills the mid-boss, so the Homunculus doesn't move all the way at the end. Also, the Homunculus is not skilled up yet. It does fail sometimes because of that, and the main fail is because of the Prilia not armor breaking and then the shit going wonky. You could put other stuff in here, but the Homunculus in the end is still best. Also, after the Luna move, we put it in perfect eye state. Like I think about here is perfect eye state for the Homunculus, always use skill 3. And therefore, we're always looking at a 26 to 27 second run. Easy as that. So now I can farm all of my crystals super fast. Might you ask, say, I also get this question often, like, why do I want to do a super fast run on a free-to-play account? Because this is a free-to-play account, you only have 2.6k crystals. Why the hell would you want to run like this shit? Because you're going to get out of crystals super fast. Well, there's actually 2 reasons. One, if I finish all of my crystals, I can just turn off this account and go on with my day. Simple as that. Number 2, if I don't have that much time, let's say I'm on holidays, or let's say I have a little bit more of a busy stuff going on, and I do always want to get in the achievements and the dailies, this is a very fast way to get in the achievements and dailies, because most of the achievements or dailies or whatever events are going on are asking you like, oh, do like 100 energy or do like 200 energy of this, that kind of stuff. Well, 200 energy this way takes me about a few minutes. Then I'm done and I can turn off the phone and I can go on with my day, especially on like vacations and that kind of stuff. It's just very chill and you don't really want to miss out on those achievements in the first place. So that's the main reason for that. Let's first of all add in this speed thingy because it makes it easier to look at. The minimum speed that you do want to have on the Luna is the 169. I think on the Luna that is about a plus 49. So the 169 in here. Luna does actually miss 1 crit rate. It does happen that she misses a crit. It's not the best out there, but yeah, that's 1 crit rate is definitely a miss there. Prilia has to be at least plus 84. The reason that your Prilia needs to be plus 84 by minimum is otherwise that the Tesher doesn't move right away, and that has to do with speed ticks. I got different videos on that, but simply is you have to do it. The Tesher has to be plus 47. Crit rate that you want to aim for is a 67, yes. The Prilia doesn't have enough crit rate, but it's not even an issue. So that's something that you can keep in mind if you go for the fight runes. Also for this one, the 67 crit rate is what you're aiming for. And these are the damage stats. And then on this one, you can actually go lower on this one because you need the 169 speed for the waves itself, but the final boss is a bit slower. So you can go slower on that. It's not an issue whatsoever. Also does already have a fight set. So let's look at the individual runes itself. So we do have a decent amount of stats already. But as you can see, there's still a whole bunch of grindables in speeds or flat attacks or anything like that to make this a lot easier than what it is right now. So I could definitely do a little bit more R5. This thing is very important. I did mention it in the previous video. The best way to improve your dungeon speed teams is getting a bunch of those damage on X elements. So I got a 13 over here. Also, this kind of stuff does help out a lot. This is actually a really good artifact, like altogether. Like the crit damage is max, crit damage first. Crit damage max works on the AoE very well. Crit damage first only on the first hit, of course. But that is definitely a good one right there. My Konamiya is actually really ass, and that is because that it has a accuracy 6. It's way better on like a tanky set on HP and defense, but it's the only way that I could actually make it to enough speed and still be semi-tanky-ish. Also, in this case, it is better if you do want to nitpick and make it safer. You might as well go some damage minus water over here so it can survive a little bit longer. Then for the Aprilia, you do want to aim for 35 accuracy. You do want to be the 84 speed. Afterward, you do kind of want to go for at least 52 crit rate, but I can simply not manage to make that. Main issue is that I only have one slot 2 on fight. And I did get those through like a crafting kind of event, but I'll show you in a second later where you can get a lot more fight runes, but it does take you a little bit more time to get there because you have to finish all of the other achievements first. So as you can see, these runes are like super ass. Like might you say it's like, oh, you already have triple fight. Like no, these runes are really ass. Like they're so bad. Then we have the Luna, also has a decent set. Also, once again, damage on water, very important. I can actually do a slight upgrade on this still, and I do recommend to go for that always, which is always trying to get like, okay, can we get at least some kind of damage improvement? And what is damage improvement? Crit damage is low, crit damage is max, crit damage own, crit damage first, crit damage in a specific skill. Any of those kind of things do help to get it working a little bit more. And all you need to do is just do until it gets like more expensive. Like at the 50, it costs like 500. That's where it gets a little bit more expensive. But you do want to try to get at least something where you're like, okay, this at least gets some damage improvement out there. And you don't need a specific one. You don't need a super high roll. You just need any of them. And currently, I'm not being that lucky of getting any of those. Bomb damage, that is damage improvement, but not the damage improvement that we're looking for. Crit damage minus, that's technically better than what we're having on this thing right now. Crit damage less. Okay, this is like the lowest roll on this possible, which is kind of bad, or almost the lowest roll. But it is at least helping a little bit more than having nothing on there. Right side is also crit damage first, crit damage low, crit damage own. So combination of crit damage lines is the main thing that you're going for. Then the homunculus, I do have fight runes on this already, yes. Are the fight runes good? No. No, this is like a terrible freaking fight rune. Also still misses a bunch of grinds over here. Doesn't even have an attack in that one. So as you can see, there's nothing too crazy to this. Also water one over here. So it is in the end super easy to run. All you need is this, and you can run the 27-second team already. Might you ask, like, okay, I started the new account, but I didn't get lucky where the Dark Force got into the skill ups right away because I got really lucky with the skill ups over here. Well, let me show you that it's not an issue. And the easiest way for me to show you is if I change this artifact to the artifact that is on you. So let's actually switch out the artifacts between the two of them. Then I can show you how that run works, and I can show you it's not an issue whatsoever as well. It just makes it a little bit slower. So in this case, the Teshar will be able to clear the things if he does hit it with the S1 and the S3. But the moment he only goes for an S3, which does happen, then he's not going to be killing it. Okay, in this case, maybe it comes down to a little bit too little damage in the first place, but then this thing should be higher. But in this case, you have... Oh, he does actually kill it. In most cases, he does leave one of the two units on the side alive, and it's still fine. So actually, you would have to down-tune your Teshar by a little bit more, where the Aprilia has a chance to hit one of the side crystals. So let's see if it happens in the next, because maybe it's still on a little bit too much damage. You wouldn't be looking at this kind of... I think you would be looking like 28 kind of seconds, but I guess that you also have to make Luna a little bit more damage, and you would have to make this thing be in the right tuning. So in this case, normally, yep, that's still fine. That's good. If we kill this, I guess it also really depends what kind of skill you did right there. So we should be able... we don't kill it apparently. So yeah, that's why you would need this on a little bit more damage. So let's see. He kills absolutely no one over here because we missed the arm break. You kind of want to have the Aprilia use one skill too. And normally it does use a skill too. It's so annoying when shit just doesn't show like you want it to show. Let me just do it manual just to show you that it's not an issue. Good thing about this whole run is even if shit goes down the drain, you still have good chances of winning. Let's see, we go for sharp wins, nearly kills. We go for the boost. That's why you want the Konomiya semi-tanky. If Konomiya survives, you can just get that last attack buff in and that kind of stuff, and it just does a little bit more damage. So that's why I like the Homunculus a lot more than going for anything like a Lin or a Shaman or something like that. Because the Homunculus has that second life. Even if you get hit pretty hard, it is still easy to do. So let's go into a Giants and let's actually do the manual. And let's see with the manual if it's easier for me to showcase what's happening. So this will always do that skill. We go over there, we kill that. Yep, we boost you up and then we hit that. I could have just manual this, but just for the idea of it, So we hit this. There is one important factor though, that if you're below 50% HP on this one right now, he kicks in the passive. And with the passive, you start dealing a lot less damage. But I think in most cases, I should be doing enough damage to kill that. So the thing is right here. The Tesha will always hit on the one target that is the lowest HP. That is fine. Then you attack buff. Then it will go maybe on one of the two side targets, but mostly it still goes off on the golem because of the right element. In that case, if the golem on the left side is too high on HP, which could be the case, then you have that one turn where the Luna can take a turn. And you actually want to lower down your Tesha to the point where that is a guarantee that it happens. Because then the Luna can get the skill back. Because that's kind of what you need to do over there. But I think in that case, you do also need to make a little bit of a stronger Luna. And you have to get the Homunculus in tune. Otherwise, it just simply doesn't work. So let me actually remove that artifact from... because I guess the Tesha is too strong to showcase that right now. Still, trying to showcase things, boys. Trying to showcase things. Let's just put... damage on fire and anything that doesn't have a damage on water, and that will definitely lower out the damage output by a decent margin right there. It will definitely get to the point where the Luna does not kill the mid-boss, but you get the idea. So if we hit this, yes sir, we do that, that's fine. I think the crit damage max that's on the side things were just rocking in a little bit too hard. Okay, so in this case, do we still kill? We still kill. Okay, kind of just depends what kind of skill you do over there. Okay, so we do kill this. Yep. Then with the attack buff, we hit on this and we don't kill. This is exactly the point. So if you have that one extra cooldown, you wouldn't have that cooldown in the next stage as well. But if your Tesha is slightly weak enough, this is where she goes for the poison shot over here. And therefore, she always will have that skill 3 available right here. So if you don't have the max skill ups on the Luna, that is kind of the rotation that you're aiming for. But that does also mean that your Tesha does damage on the boss, and therefore a little bit of a stronger Luna would help. And same for the Homunculus. So you do have to, like, if you lose damage somewhere, you have to add in more damage elsewhere. But that's just kind of depending how you want to rune it. If you do have a good, I would say best rune set goes to the Luna, second best set goes to the Tesha. That's how I would recommend to rune this. Then the question, like, say, how did you get here in 18 days? Well, I am planning to do like an ultimate beginner guide that you can follow of like, okay, what are the main steps that I followed to get to this stage where I did get all of the runes, all of the artifacts. But the main thing is that I went for a route where I went farming Necro first. And in the description down below is going to be the whole list of all of the, what's it called? Like the whole playlist of all of the videos that I made on this account thus far. And you can simply follow that because the Ultimate Beginner Guide is going to be somewhat similar to explaining all of those. Let me just give back the correct ones. Yes, sir. So the main thing that I did was first you start off farming Necro. Necro is a super easy dungeon and you can farm it this way. And you can literally do that like super early on. These stats are not the right stats because I did de-rune some of it or change some runes on it. But you get the idea. I was farming a good amount of Necro. Then I switched into farming some R5. With R5 and Necro, you have a decent, good base to also then farm artifacts. So then I did do a decent amount of artifact farming. So I would say I did Necro farming starting about level 40-ish. Then I did that for a good amount of time. I think until like level 60 or 70. Like sure, you do the Summoner's Way and those kind of things in the meantime. But I did that around to 60, 70. Then it was R5 for I think like 2-3 good days. Then I did Steel Fortress for a day, or I would say 2 days, maybe 2.5 days. Punisher Script for 1 day, and then I was good to go for the Giants team. So that is how much it took me to get like some decent Rage runes in there. Because in the end, sure, you could say it's like, oh, I go right away for Giants, and I go Giants on a very weaker team, and then I get Fatal runes on Blade runes, and I make it work from there. Yes and no, because in the end, you do have the damage enemy max HP scaling skill over here. And I think there is one for you over here as well. Is it not? Oh no, this is slightly different. Like this one, yeah, this part kind of is as well, I guess. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, crit damage simply scales more if you have enemy max HP scaling skills. And that is the same for you. So therefore, Fatal is simply doing worse than a Rage set by a pretty substantial amount. And for that reason, you just want to get those little bit of Rage runes in. Also, in an early game account, it's good to get the Rage runes. It's good to get the Will runes. It will definitely help you off with a whole bunch of things early game. So I do highly recommend go for the route where you go Necro first. You have a good amount of achievements right now, even if there's no events running on for beginners. You can still get the right units. You can get the Abigail, you can get the Astar just through the achievements. You can also scale them up through the achievements. So with that, it's super easy to farm Necro, and that's definitely going to be in my ultimate beginner guide as well. I think I will be working on it tomorrow or the day after, or kind of depending when. I hope to make it soon. That's the main thing. But I think it will be from the point of like starting an account until you farm Giants, because I would say the way that I farm everything up to farming Giants is pretty much setting a very good base for like, okay, this is how an account can be built, and then you have a very good all-round understanding of where you want to farm, how you want to farm. Might you ask what went wrong in that first wave? Prilia didn't arm or break any of those units, and therefore the Tesha didn't kill, and then the Tesha's second hit doesn't have the AoE hit because he needs to get AoE, or he needs to kill something to get the AoE hit. So it's a little bit of back and forth over there. But yeah, I think that this is a very good way to get an account starting to get built. Also, as mentioned, my homunculus is not even skilled up right now, so I think I did good for not wasting the skill ups in this. It is still probably better if you do get the skill ups in here, because it's just simply a lot more damage, lower cooldowns, all of those things do help out a lot to make it safer. But then again, it is a lot of skill ups to give like 4 force 8 and then another 5 that's looking at like 13 skill ups. I do have enough for that right now. I think I'm sitting on like 12 or 13. Oh, wait, it's not that one. It's the other one. It's this one over here. I do have 13 exactly, but I'd rather use that at some kind of net 5 at a later moment. Once again, I do get this question in the comments a few times already, or people saying like, no way that you're going to throw away your Tesha. That's exactly what I'm going to do. And that is the main reason that I wanted to get a good Giants run in right now, because then I can do a lot of farming with the Teshar. And then towards the end of the event, with the event over here, which is the Selection Summon event, because that's where my Teshar came from, I still have like 34 days, probably in around like 30 days, I'm going to be throwing away my Teshar for anything else that would help me more endgame PvP related. And Teshar is only going to help me in Giants. It's really good in Giants, but trust me, I will have a really good Giants team in 30 days with some other units as well, because it's not that difficult to get that in the moment I do a little bit more R5, a little bit more of other stuff. Already have a few ideas in mind for teams that are relatively easy to rune and easy to just set up, and maybe that I can even use some overlapping units in Giants and Dragons that way, because I think there are a few of those out there. So yeah, that's definitely not going to be super difficult for me altogether. But the main thing is, I do want to get in towards Arena, because this week is going to be the first week where I can do a rush on this account, and I right away want to go for a rush on this account to try to get towards Guardian. Probably not going to get Guardian right away, but I just kind of want to test the waters of seeing of like how far can I get over there. But for that, I definitely do need a bit more Swift runes. So that's the main thing that I'm farming. R5, Swift runes, maybe a little bit more back to Necro. I'm definitely not going to be focusing on Dragons anytime soon. That's also one of my recommendations. Dragons is mainly what you want to do is the moment that you want to have a good defense, the moment that you want to bruiser in Siege, or the moment you want to play RTA. But I think all of those three things is something that you should focus on later. Definitely you will focus on it on some point. I can definitely already farm this because it's one of the easier dungeons out there with just a Veromos, a Lauren, and a Vert, and then plus whatever. However, I don't really care that much about fight runes or about fire runes yet. Sure, if I do get legendary material for anything of like craft a rune, that kind of stuff, I do go very end game and I do select a fire rune, which is, for example, the rune that I got over here. This is one of those runes. I think this was the share rune event thingy. This thing rolled way better than the rune on my main account. Of course, that happens, but yeah, this is one of those things. It's like, sure, this material you still put towards violent, of course, because it's the most end game. If I want to transition into an RTA, that is definitely going to be used. If I want to get defense in or bruise or siege offenses, those are definitely going to be used. But early game, you're just going to be cleaving because you don't really want to rune check people as like, oh, do you have better runes than I do? They will. And that's the main issue. They will have better runes than you do. So then what do you want to use early game? You just want to snipe them out, like one-tap them in siege and that kind of stuff. So that's going to be the main way that I'm doing it. That is my video for the Giants thus far. Also from this point on, I'm not sure if there's going to be a lot more videos on this account throughout, because from this point on, it's just a lot of farming. If there's anything interesting happening, I definitely will showcase it. Such as the first rush, we'll definitely show or do that on stream. So if you do want to watch that, it's going to be Sunday, Asia server, rush time. But I also will, if there's like something interesting on getting a new cool unit or getting anything like some siege, maybe I'll do. Let me know in the comments if you do want to see more siege videos on this account as well. Might do a few of those, but that's all there is for this video. Guys, thanks a lot for watching. If you haven't, or if you don't have a team that runs as fast as this, you can do this within 18 days on a fresh account. So maybe you should be looking at like getting a little bit of a fast team in there, because it's just super chill to have your dungeon runs fast. Mainly because not having of an infinite amount of crystals, but it's just chill that you can do your dungeon runs fast and then just close your game and go on with your day. Guys, thanks a lot for watching. I see you as always in the next one. Thanks for watching. If you would like to see more guides, join the Discord and check out the content tab for the guide video archive, which contains all of the guides that you might need. Hope to see you there.